Hi, welcome to our mindset video of the week. This week, I want to talk to you in a little bit more detail about fine motor skills and give you a really in-depth explanation of how we approach fine motor skills in this curriculum. So most of the time when you think about fine motor skills that are necessary for kindergarten, they can have to do with practical things like opening and closing lunch boxes or putting papers into a folder. But in most cases, people think of it in terms of actually writing with a crayon, with a pencil. Going to kindergarten, this is where children will begin to do a fairly substantial amount of writing or coloring or drawing or things that require a tripod grasp of a writing tool. So this is a fairly advanced grasp for the hand to manage, and there are a lot of skills that go into a child being able to hold a pencil or a crayon and write for any length of time with ease and with skill. How we approach the fine motor skills in this curriculum is by breaking down the different muscle groups and the different activities that have to coordinate together for a child to be able to write, and break those down into categories of exercises. Then we give you lists of activities that work on each of these individual areas. Areas like open thumb movements, where their thumb opposes their index finger so they can wrap around and hold a pencil. Precision tasks, where they need to make small movements using the pincer grip or using tweezers, or for instance, threading motions like threading a needle or threading a bead onto a pipe cleaner. And there's also other activities that are more gross body movements and activities, such as cylindrical holds, like how you would hold a bat or a broom handle, grasps where you hold a ball. All of these things work together to give your child the skills that they need in order to be able to write. What we do is we weave them into the curriculum, where every week your child is practicing activities in at least 4 of these different areas. And then gradually towards the end, after your child has had a chance to build their muscle strength and their coordination, hand-eye coordination, bilateral hand coordination for several weeks, then towards the end we begin to start working in those more advanced grips, like the tripod grasp that they will need to hold a pencil. Core strength is actually quite important for fine motor skills, and we don't usually think about them going together, but they do. The amount of energy that it takes to sit in a chair, at a desk, or a table for any length of time and to write does take a tremendous amount of core strength and even shoulder strength. This is why we often see children complain about these activities. They may not realize why they don't want to do this or why it's uncomfortable, but it often has to do with the fact that they just haven't developed the muscles and the strength that they need in order to be able to do it comfortably. They're not comfortable sitting at a table for a long time and engaging in this type of activity. That's really normal, and you can help them with that by giving them the opportunity to engage in a wide variety of exercises that will help to build that strength and just make it more comfortable for them to do that. A big part of this is outdoor play. Activities like playing on the playgrounds and riding their bike and running around and playing ball, playing baseball, kicking a ball, throwing a ball. All of these things actually do factor into your child developing the fine motor skills needed to write. So making sure that they get plenty of that outdoor playtime. They also in outdoor playtime get a lot of the more fine motor exercises as well. So like picking up tiny pebbles on the ground and playing in the sand and the dirt with their hands. All of that lends itself to them exercising their core muscles and also their hand muscles and being ready to write when it's time to do that. Unstructured play is another fantastic way to develop these skills. So as they build blocks and as they build with Legos, or as they help you stir cookie dough in the kitchen, all of these more unstructured activities are also fantastic practice for them in building these muscles. If you look at an x-ray, this is very interesting. If you look online and you look at an x-ray of a toddler or preschool child's hand next to an older child's hand, about 7, 8, 9 years old, you'll see that they look entirely entirely different. Little children's hands are simply not developed enough. They don't have the muscle structure, they don't have the bone structure. You'll see how different the bones are in the hands of a child that's just a few years older. So the little children just don't have the physical hand structure necessary to write for extended amounts of time with comfort. And this is often why you see young children who have very little writing stamina. I want you to know that that is completely normal. You often hear young children, when they're asked to do a worksheet or color a coloring page, say that they're tired, say that they want to stop before they finished, say that their hand hurts. And a lot of times I think parents think that this is an excuse. They don't want to do the activity. But I would encourage you to believe them. In young children, it is totally normal for them to have very small amount of writing stamina. And usually when they say their hand hurts, it actually does. The way to approach this is with incremental, small amounts of practice frequently. And that's why we offer you these activities, so that first of all, you have a choice of activities to practice different things. Your child may enjoy one more than another, and that way you can zero in on those activities that they really engage with and want to have some kind of sustained practice with to help build those muscles. That always helps when they enjoy the activity. And then that you got to make sure that you're selecting activities from those wide range of skills, so that they're not practicing just one muscle group, but they're practicing a variety of muscle groups. And that's how we've incorporated it into the curriculum, so that each week you are selecting from a range of activities in order to exercise a range of muscles and build that stamina that's necessary for writing. So all of this practice goes a long way to getting your child ready to go to kindergarten and ready to complete those worksheets and those coloring pages with comfort, and where it doesn't bother them to sit at a table or sit in a desk for a certain amount of time, hold a pencil, hold it properly, and complete whatever the assigned task is without running into those problems. So now that you understand a little bit more about how we approach fine motor skills, you'll be better prepared to go forward and select the activities accordingly that work best for your child and your schedule.